edition of Tia and Stacy Do Stuff.
Meet us on Main Street.
That's right, that podcast thing that we do as well.
We're here today with Margot Griffin from Inky Fingers Calligraphy, who's going to teach us some brush lettering.
Brush lettering is formed using a brush or anything that is pressure sensitive. Calligraphy depends on two things: form, which is the actual shapes you're making, and pressure, how hard you're pushing on your writing utensil. So with brush pens, brush markers, the nice thing is we don't have to worry about dipping into an ink source, brushing on paint, running out of ink, metal, tines, catching. It's something you're familiar with. It's just instead of a regular bullet tip or like blunt or chisel tip, it comes to a point like a paintbrush. We're going to be starting with these Tumbo Fudenosuke's, and this is the
Say that 5 times real fast.
This is the hard tip version, meaning it takes a little bit more pressure to make it do things, and so it's good for a beginner hand. And then I will move you up to the big boy, which you can see has a much longer tip, much more exaggerated.
The big boy has the longer tip.
We're all about the tip here on our show.
The bigger difference you have between how thin it can write and how thick it can write, the nicer contrast you'll have. And with all calligraphy, you're leaning toward it, or you're aiming toward balance. You want some thick, some thin. And so the way that happens is pressure. And so basically, this little warm-up drill just takes you through straight lines and curves and some of the shapes that make up letters, so that we learn with baby steps. And so when you have your pen tip in your hand, you want to choke your fingers down toward the bottom, so you kind of have a lot of control.
Calligraphy is very dirty, and I believe that.
Choke your fingers down.
Choke your finger to the tip.
So at the top, where we just have those arrows that are straight lines, I just want you to practice a couple going down toward yourself, toward the bottom of the paper, pressing hard. So that's going to be a heavy, what we call a downstroke, and then lift it off the paper, otherwise it'll just keep making ink. And then when you push away from yourself, you're almost lifting the tip of the pen off the page a little bit, so it's just barely touching, and that allows you to do a nice light upstroke with just a little bit of pressure. And so you should see, when you look at the two, they look different. The downstroke looks thicker. You also will have felt the difference, and it's kind of that connect between your brain, your body, your eyes. Calligraphy gets your whole body involved. So it's kind of meditative. Now, some people have a naturally heavy hand and they have to like pause and tell themselves, okay, I'm going up now, light pressure. Okay, now I'm going down, I can go heavy.
She's talking to me.
I
Some people sitting to my right.
As we said, Tia's already had a little bit of practice. Even professionals, they spend hours a day just building their skills to maintain them. You guys have been doing this for 25 seconds.
I expect to be perfect at everything on first try.
Isn't it crazy too to think about how calligraphy was essentially how everyone wrote, like back in the day? Like this was how you wrote, was with those, like,
well,
pens and
actually, so it was, but before that it wasn't. And Platt Rogers Spencer was the guy who invented what we call a Spencerian hand, and his whole idea was to democratize this fancy writing and make everyone's writing, readable and legible and the same, so that you could actually understand what they were trying to tell you on paper.
Interesting.
And he was influenced by nature, by waterfalls, and by movements of things in nature. And so I like these shapes because some of them it's like, oh, this is the wind blowing and grass is waving and the ocean waves. So it's kind of fun to not just think of it as, this is how we write words and letters, but to tie it in with the natural world. Get to the bottom, and Tia, whenever you are ready, we're gonna switch to the more pressure sensitive, bigger,
The big boy
longer tip.
already.
Yeah, we're moving out of that big tip.
All right, so in column 3, try this one. And with this one, you're not going to get like a perfect thin hairline unless you're basically holding your breath and like exercising the most insane caution. It's really hard to keep it steady with light pressure, but you'll kind of get a feel for that difference between the two better.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I can't handle the big boy. I can't handle it.
I know, because like I feel like no matter, even if I'm just like the lightest, it's still just like ha ha ha, no, you're getting one.
And this is why they
This
call
one's
me
better
the big boy.
for this one's good for like whole hand movements or whole arm movements, but I like to just give you a little taste of it.
A little taste
Yep.
of the big boy.
Do you want to try?
I give up. I can't handle the big boy.
We can move along. So what I brought for you guys was a worksheet from our Valentine's Day Naughty Valentines and Wine event we did at the Marinova Inn. And
Ooh.
it was the practice sheet for people making their adult-themed Valentine's Day cards. So what you can do is trace over what I've written there with the marker of your choice. Again, practicing.
Average
your-
size.
We're all
The
about average. We like the average.
So what you want to try and do is use one stroke for each letter.
So what you want to try to do is not what you're doing over
Yeah.
there, Stacy.
You're taking all of my like tactful criticism and making it pointed.
I fully admit that I am rushing through. Well, we didn't do so well on the brush lettering.
But we did do fantastic, however, on the coloring portion of this. So we at least get A+ at coloring. So the backstory of my unicorn is that this is from an ancient time. Their civilization was attacked, so he had to battle the unicorns.
The unicorn?
The unicorns versus the unicorns. Up high in his realm, he slides down the rainbow alley into and through the vampire clouds in order to unicorns. What's the background of your story?
It's beautiful. It's very lovely. Great work.
Thank you. I have no.
Margot,
A+.
am I doing good with that?
I don't
she's,
need mental
she's the best at doing positive talking when you suck. So, mine, I got a little carried away, as you can see with the background.
You committed fully, 100%.
So see what
Except
I'm
for
talking
the
about.
clouds aren't. I'm just gonna say they're not colored in.
You know, sometimes you need some white space. It makes
It's all
more
about
of a
balance. We
statement.
learned
yes,
this in our calligraphy
yes,
class.
Yes.
On that note, definitely take one of Margot's classes and you will learn a lot, and please just keep practicing and do
Because
not
If you
look
stick
at
with
ourselves.
it,
That's what you get.
this is what you can do.
If you stop after one time, this is what you get. So
Yeah.
continue going and you will become this masterful, okay?
exactly.
So this chick knows what she's talking about.
We'll catch you next time on
Tia and Stacy do stuff!